Hey, this is Luis in California. Sorry about the last call.
No problem. How you doing, Luis?
Hi, good. I'm a fifth grade teacher in California, and I just wanted to call because the guest was really good and wanted to share my perspectives from the classroom. And yeah, it is frustrating and not necessarily just the Common Core per se, but just the way that the curriculum is always changing, and the way we're supposed to be teaching in the classroom is always changing. It seems like with any new administration, they have to come in and change it up. It seems almost for the sake of saying that they're trying something new.
Right.
And I see the frustration I've only been teaching for 6 years now, but I've seen the frustration on the veteran teachers. And whenever we have to go to a new training where they explain to us, what is the new curriculum or what's the new way of teaching it now, and they look at each other kind of like, oh, here we go again, or the pendulum swings again, because they pretty much tell the veterans, tell the younger teachers, get used to it. It's similar ideas, but just a different name and a different way of explaining it and teaching it to the kids. And the latest one, the Common Core, a big focus on it is making more rigorous standards. And, that's really infuriating because with No Child Left Behind, there was already a lot of students struggling to, as I said, not stay behind. And now all of a sudden we have more rigorous standards, meaning raising the bar. But how are you going to raise the bar when there was already so many kids struggling to get up there?
Right. You're not getting any new.
And you see it in the frustration.
You're not getting any new resources.
Go ahead.
You're not getting any new resources.
No, we're not getting any new resources. We get new training, but it's district provided training, so it's teachers and administrators doing the training, which even they're learning it right before they give it to us. So sometimes during the trainings, it seems like they're kind of trying to catch up just enough so that they could teach it to us, and then we feel the same time sometimes in the classroom where we haven't mastered it yet. You can't master something over a few training sessions. And so, it's just very frustrating because it seems like every year it's something new, or every few years it's something new. And you can barely master one before they're giving you something new.
So you've been teaching for 6 years. Do the veteran teachers, the teachers have been teaching like 15, 20 years now, I guess. I guess we're
I'm working with the close to retirement.
I'm curious because the conversation I had with a teacher, a former, I guess she was second or third grade teacher of my daughter's, and she has since retired. So she probably had been teaching only for about 20, 25 years. And she said one of the problems that she's noticing with the younger teachers is that we're right at the brink of these teachers never having known, either as students or teachers, sort of a different way of teaching. That it's always that we're now getting to the point where we have every generation of teacher that will populate the schools has either as a teacher or as a student, at least when they were old enough to be sort of conscious of it, has gone through a system of teaching where there's this sort of attempt at, either high stakes testing, or sort of this idea of testing and not being able to experiment at all with or learn within the classroom on how to approach. Is that? Do you have a sense of that?
Yeah. You're right, because I've been teaching for about 6 years, and even the teachers that came in, only a couple of years before me. When we came in, it was all scripted because under No Child Left Behind, I don't know if you know,
right.
It was very scripted. The math was scripted. The language arts was scripted. So anybody that came in, and let's say about 10 to 5 years ago, it was all scripted. So now when we switched over to Common Core, they're telling us, you get more leeway, you get to explore with the standards, and use your veteran teachers as resources because they have so many tools and so many other resources that they stored away in the closet. But the thing is, when those old curriculums that gave you a lot of leeway were kind of like, put under the rug for No Child Left Behind, a lot of those teachers got rid of all those old resources, for more closet space for all the new curriculum that was coming in under Bush. And so, they're telling you, go back to the past, but a lot of those things are gone now.
And it's also, it's not just a matter of
rely a lot on technology.
Right. And it's not just the resources, but just sort of the idea of it seems to me, of an approach.
Yeah, you're right. Because we were so used to scripted, and now they're saying, and like your guest said, now they want us to rely a lot more on, collaborative work and collaborative problem solving, and the training that we're getting from that is all training that we're getting right now. The veterans teacher got it a while back, but for all the recent teachers, it's something new to them. It's not something that was part of the credential program, because under the credential program, they were telling us all about the No Child Left Behind curriculum.
Louis, give me a sense of what you think your future will be as a teacher.
Well, I like, I don't know if you've ever listened to George Carlin's, one of his last stand-ups, Life Worth Losing, I think it was. And he had a segment in there about education and how politicians always talk about education. Education is one of the first things that comes out of their mouth. But, you got to wonder, how concerned are they with education? Because you've got to think that all politicians mostly send their students to private schools, so they don't even see the effects of all their changes in standards that they impose anytime a new person comes in, a new governor, a new president comes in. And so I feel like it's just going to keep on going. Just like the veterans teacher told me, it's always a pendulum swinging. You're going to notice the similar ideas under different names, and that's something that you're going to kind of have to live with. So I'm kind of prepared for that, because I've already seen it in just the 6 years that I've been a teacher.
Well,
but what worries me is that the students are graduating. I mean, there's 4 high schools in the small town that I live with, and let's say there's about 200 to 300 students that graduate every year, and some of them might go to college, not a big percentage of them, and some of them might go to the military. But a lot of them, they graduate and they don't have a lot of options.
Right.
And I know that there was a time in our country where you can survive with just a high school education and get a job at the local factory or, the local businesses. But all we have now as far as jobs when you come out of high school is minimum wage jobs. And I do see a lot of high school graduates around town working in those, the Walmarts, the Targets, the biggest employers of the town, but they're all minimum wage. So it's just something that it's a cycle that's really concerning.
Yeah. Louis, I appreciate the phone call.